Airport security knew someone would try to smuggle some goods today. 3 people caught their eye. That girl's headed for the beach. She has an umbrella, a diving mask, sunscreen, even a beach ball. That businessman has some handkerchiefs, a bottle of very expensive cologne, and shampoo. That nice pet lover has a dog in a basket, a bird in a cage, a cockroach in a matchbox, and paperwork for all of them. Who's the smuggler? The businessman is completely bald. He doesn't need shampoo. He's the smuggler. A rich old lady spent her vacation at the seaside. Then she came back to her fancy mansion, full of expensive artwork. Uh-oh, she forgot to turn on the alarm before leaving. The lady looked at the wall and screamed. There used to be a painting there, her most expensive one. The thieves had taste. So, that's what the old lady told the police officer. But the officer didn't believe her. You're just trying to get the insurance money. Why did he think that? There's no nail in the wall, or even a hole for it. There was never any painting there. The weekend market was loud, dirty, and full of customers, as usual. It was Lily's first day at the butcher's. The owner told her to watch out for thieves, especially that old stray dog, Charlie, who lived in the square. Who's a good dog? Not him. Soon, Lily noticed a leg of lamb was missing. That's worth a whole day's pay. Lily ran out of the shop. Wonder who the thief was. That pregnant woman? What if her belly's fake? Or maybe that man with the briefcase. That boy's grinning for no reason. Suspicious. Maybe he did it on a dare or something. Who's the thief? Why do you think Charlie's sniffing around that briefcase? He smells meat. That man is the thief. John found a strange briefcase in the used car he just bought. Of course, he looked inside and found $1 million. Such a huge amount of cash, probably something to do with the mafia. John saw a black car with some thugs inside. They'd been following him all day. John wasn't about to go back to a regular job. He decided to take off with the cash. What would you have done? To throw them off the scent, John spent each night in a new place. After a few weeks, he drove into a small hotel in the middle of nowhere. He asked for a single room. The manager looked overjoyed.
You're so lucky, sir. We have the last one. It's 512. Let me show you.
John knew right away that he should not trust the manager. He was working for the mob. How did he know? The first digit of the room number usually means what floor it's on, so 512 should be on the 5th floor. But John knew this hotel only had 3 floors. It was a beautiful winter day. The snow had just stopped falling. Mr. Smith placed a call to the police from his cozy cottage. One of his servants stole his grandmother's diamond while Mr. Smith was sleeping. A detective confirmed it. There were no footprints outside the house. It was an inside job. The detective talked to the servants. The janitor boy said he was cleaning the snow off the roof. The roof was spotless. The cook said she didn't leave the kitchen. She made a lot of food. The security guard was watching baseball on TV. He remembered every moment of the game. Still, one of them was lying. Who? There are no footprints next to the staircase. The janitor boy didn't clean the roof. The snow melted because of the hot chimney. An elderly man was found unconscious. He lived alone. It was his niece Alice who called for help. When the police arrived, she was still there. She had even finished her own investigation. She said her uncle called her last night. He was so down, he'd lost a bunch of money. Not lost behind the couch. We're talking about a card game that went south. Alice decided to check in on him in the morning. She found him on the floor, a half-full glass of drink on the table, and an empty packet of sleeping pills in the bathroom. Alice was a doctor, so she knew that many pills would put him out immediately.
He did it on purpose, my poor uncle.
Alice couldn't stop crying, but the officer wasn't convinced. You did this! Why was the officer so sure? If the pills act so fast, the uncle wouldn't have time to put the glass down so neatly on the table. It should have been lying on the floor next to him. Someone else put the glass there. Sarah was found unconscious on the stairs near her apartment. The coroner said the assault happened right there, about an hour ago. The master detective interviewed everyone in the building. Jorge said he came back from a super romantic date half an hour ago. He still had so much adrenaline in him, he didn't see anything. Alex returned from his job 10 minutes ago and jumped right in the shower. Stella said that she spent the entire day in her apartment binge-watching Cobra Kai Season 2. She couldn't hear anything over all that karate. The detective immediately knew who was lying. Who was it, and how did he know? The elevator was out of order, so everyone used the stairs. Stella was in her apartment all day. Jorge lived below Sarah, but Alex lived above her. Alex would have seen the body on the stairs. Liar. There was a huge wedding at a fancy hotel, and one of the guests was robbed. A lady came back to her suite to find all her jewelry missing. The master detective looked around. A criminal could easily sneak in through the balcony. It went all the way around the building. There were 4 suites on that floor. The others belonged to the James family, distant relatives of the bride. Mark James from Washington, Steve James from Canada, and Sylvia James from Nebraska. The detective was deep in thought when the lady interrupted him.
Unbelievable! Somebody left me a note with a clue! What does it mean?
It's so obvious. Who stole the jewelry? Question mark. Mark James is the thief. Anita was passing top secret documents to a criminal organization. The master detective couldn't get a warrant in time. He had to go old school, follow her. First, Anita took out some money at the bank. Then, she had a hair appointment. If you ask the detective, her old hairstyle was way better. After that, Anita stopped by a toy shop. She ended her day with a cappuccino. In the evening? Is that a European thing or something? Later that night, the master detective studied his surveillance photos. He figured out how and where she handed over the documents. What's your guess? Anita kept a flash drive in her heel. Look at the picture. She handed over her heels in the toy shop.